A little video showing the similarities between Bubble and Dittofi and how you do some of the same things. So I've got a little app here in Dittofi. I'm going to show how to do repeating groups, and then I've also got a little app over here in Bubble. Um, so in Bubble, I just got some user data. Same thing in Dittofi. If I go over here, I've just got some user data. So I'm just going to display this user data in a repeating group. Okay, so first in Bubble, I'll go over here to the design tab, and I'm just going to drag a repeating group onto the canvas. Again, I'm not going to worry about styling for the sake of this video. So this is going to be user content, and the data source is going to be do a search for users, right? So close that. I just want to have one row. No, actually, I just do all rows. Never mind. We'll say this is probably going to be about 50. One column is fine. So that should be good. I'll go over here to layout quickly. Minimum height is going to be 0, I suppose. And we won't make this fixed width. We'll say at 280 is fine. Okay. So then I'm going to add, excuse me, drop some groups into our repeating group. Let's see. This is going to be, oh, let me do one thing. If I go to my repeating group, I'm going to make it a row. So that will help with a lot of our layout here. Okay. Now if I go back to the first group, this is just going to be a column, and we'll just say 20 and 20. And I actually am going to drag this into my repeating group. And this is going to be for the name. And then I'm going to drag, and one last thing I need to do is a type of content will be user and data source will be current sales user, right? Then I want to just drag some text into that. And this will be parent groups user, and we'll just do first name. And I'll just do a little bit of layout here. 40, I suppose. And we'll do this, height. Okay, so if I go into, I guess I'll just do 40 here. Okay. This should be all good. So then I'm just going to copy these and paste because I'm going to do a total of, I guess, 3 columns. So this is going to be group, and this will be for their title. And then I'll go into here, and instead of first name, I'll just use title. And then I'll paste another one. Oops. And I want this actually. Date. Okay. Sometimes dragging it, I want it there. This is going to be their email. And then I need to go in here to the text and just change this to email. Okay. So now if I go back to my Bubble app and reload, here we go. We've got name, email, and title. So obviously it takes a little bit of work to get all your groups and text elements lined up, but certainly not that bad of a process. So if I go back to Dittofi and I go to my pages, um, let's see, I'm going to drop an element, just a table element on here. Now, one thing I do like about Dittofi, you can see it's going to show you, it's going to give you columns. And so if I go in, select my table, and go to settings, it's easy enough to add columns or delete columns, um, all that kind of stuff. So, and it gives you a header kind of out of the box, which I like as well. So let's see. So if I go here, this is going to be name. This is going to be email. And this is going to be title, I think is what it was. Okay, so now the way you do this for Dittofi, actually I am going to just do I've got the Bootstrap integration in here. So if I go over here, I'm going to add a table class, which is from Bootstrap, which just gives it a little nice formatting. I think I am actually going to, yeah, put it just in the same container that the repeating groups is in to format it a little bit better. So now for this row, the way you do the repeating groups in Dittofi, so if you go to settings, you can see that this row has a repeating with option. Right now there's no repeating, but if I select this and I tell it what variable to use for repeating these rows, then obviously it will repeat. So I'm going to use a users collection, and a lot of these things are created when you create your tables in Dittofi, so you don't have to do much there. So I'm going to use the users collection for my rows. And if I go to the content here, instead of using text, I'm just going to select a variable. It's going to be the repeating group row and first name. And then I'll do the same thing on these. Variable, repeating group row. This was email. And then on this, I'm going to do variable, repeating group row. This was title, I believe. So now I've got my title. The last thing I need to do is when this page loads, I essentially need it to tell the front end to go retrieve this data. So on the table element, I'm going to set up a front end action. And that front end action is going to be when this element mounts or loads, if you will, I want it to go get users, okay? And then it's gonna get the users, assign them to that users variable, and that's how all this will be displayed. So I just need to build the code. Should be all set. Go reload. And there you go. So there's my table. You see when it mounted, it pulled all the user information in. And there you go. So now I've got repeating groups on a Bubble app and on a Dittofi app. Hope you can find this helpful. Thanks.